these things are going to be the last things that could be filled by AI. They need to take advantage of the opportunity that a lot of boomers are going to be selling their businesses because they want to retire.
Yeah.
And a lot of these businesses are going to shut down.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to create your own legacy. So I always knew that I wanted to do something in the digital world. I just didn't know what it was. And I decided to teach myself SEO and Google Ads.
Looking for real stories of real people making a difference in the Grand Canyon State? Welcome to Finding Arizona podcast. We sit down with Arizona's inspiring entrepreneurs, creatives, and community leaders and give you a front row seat to their journeys, passions, and projects. Whether you're a local trying to find a hidden gem or just enjoy watching someone chase their dreams, Finding Arizona is your go-to place for authentic conversations with a desert twist. New episodes drop weekly, so hit subscribe and start exploring Arizona one story at a time. Welcome back, everybody, to the Finding Arizona podcast. I'm your host, Jose. And as always, we bring in fantastic guests to our doors and to appreciate them and share their story of their heart hustle, what keeps them going. Today, I'd love to introduce Meg here. Meg, I'm going to let you introduce what we're going to be talking about today, and then I'll hit you with the everyday question that we want to ask our audience, from our audience, to get your perspective of your life. And so introduce yourself just a little bit.
Thank you for having me. I'm Meg Jones. I'm a performance marketing specialist. I have helped billion-dollar value businesses reach their revenue goals with paid media, specifically Google Ads.
Okay.
And today I'm here to talk about my journey and my next mission.
Okay.
What else to tell you? So I have helped very high budget clients in the last 13 years at this point. And actually, I found a bigger passion in helping smaller businesses. I absolutely love Arizona. I made this my home, and I've been helping some local businesses, service-based businesses in Scottsdale and Sedona.
Awesome.
Specifically through Google Ads and branding.
Awesome.
And results have been great so far. One of my clients just reached 24x. And if you understand performance marketing, anyone's listening and they know, this basically means getting $24 for every dollar you spend on Google Ads.
Exactly.
So I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be able to help these businesses grow and for these business owners to have that financial and time freedom, which is more important than financial freedom, in my opinion.
Yes.
And provide for their families and just live a fulfilled life instead of being stuck in a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
I love that. You are, I like to say, one of the things that kind of gives me joy in life is anonymity and just being able to be anonymous in how much you can bring joy to the world and help others, but also just kind of keep to yourself too. It's like there's this level of, like, I don't know, justice warrior or something like that kind of brings, you're helping a lot of people with what you do, and it may be a little bit more behind the scenes, but it's still a great service and a great opportunity for have someone like yourself and backing a business up.
For sure.
Can I ask you the question that we typically ask everybody is, give us a little bit of growing up and life before business, and just maybe if you're comfortable going in childhood, is there anyone in your own family that was like maybe a technology buff or someone who kind of guided you into what you've been doing these days?
That's a great question. And that's kind of what's funny about my origin story.
Yeah.
I actually have 0 entrepreneurs in my family.
Wow.
My dad is a boomer, and he believed in working for one company and retiring from them. And a lot of boomers did that, which is something I love about them, actually. They really valued jobs. That's a whole nother story. But there was no one in my family that really had the courage to start their own family.
Okay.
So I had to grow into the person that could believe in herself,
Yeah.
that could believe that I can create something and I can make money
Yeah.
independently. And that's a whole another journey that I've been on.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that I've been.
Yeah. That's amazing that you've looked at the world in a very unique lens in just how you approach, certain aspects. And so I'm kind of, again, I ask those questions because my own teachings, what I've been through as with the podcasting side is that, the you would want to see where the apple falls from the tree. And so what makes up the tree, what is some of the lingering things that kind of, stay with you was, I know your father was kind of the guy that was probably looking what you were looking at as a business, like how does business work or how do I see the world in a business lens? And the fact that he was, again, a boomer in a sense where it's like you work a long period of time in one singular business and you get that gold watch after the 50 years.
I do have to say that I had one uncle that kind of liked taking risks. He rode a motorcycle.
Okay.
He was an electrician. Now that I'm thinking about it, he was a freelancer, right? When you're an electrician, you kind of do your own thing. He didn't work for just one company. He also did a lot of gigs. And I think I really appreciated his personality. I just found it very fun that in a world where everyone drives a car, you're driving a motorcycle. And I'm talking about like 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I think I always knew that what I had to do in life, what I chose to do, needed to have two elements: fun and risk. Risk taking is just in my character, but not like not uninformed risk taking. I like to educate myself before I do that. That's why I think I love performance marketing, because there's always that risk, but the reward is so big.
Yeah.
You'll do anything to be successful. You'll do anything to make your clients successful. So
Absolutely.
I think that's how I ended up in entrepreneurship and in performance marketing.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. As you've progressed along in your education, I would love to understand what was your first instance of what you do for a business now? Like, what was that first, like, enjoyment of it? Like maybe it's the risk taking or even, just learning about what its potential is.
Right. I actually was never supposed to be a marketing specialist. I went to school to become an English teacher.
Oh, okay.
And all my relatives expected me to become an English teacher in state school.
Yeah.
Which I did for 1 year. And then I realized I really need to do marketing. Yeah. I love everything about digital marketing. I'm from the era of MySpace. If you remember, if you're a millennial, we used to just customize our MySpace profiles.
They were all webmasters. We all knew HTML.
We were all webmasters. HTML, CSS was everything, right?
Yes.
So I always knew that I wanted to do something in the digital world. I just didn't know what it was. And I decided to teach myself SEO and Google Ads.
Yeah.
This was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
And I basically self-started a learning process. And when I did, I experimented on a blog with my first and last name.com. And I started writing things that I was passionate about. At the time, it was Mediterranean diet recipes, healthy anti-inflammatory recipes for people to learn from. And after a couple of years, I actually sold some products, by the way, from that knowledge.
That's great.
As a beginner, as a junior, which is so unexpected.
Yeah.
But that's when I started building this self-belief that if I just keep teaching myself the right things, if I end up in the right rooms, meet the right people, just get the right piece of information, it seems like there's nothing I can't do in life.
The snowball effect.
Yeah, right. I'm kind of telling a long story, a long answer to your question, but
it's perfect.
I'm building it up to where I felt like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So after that first success, I applied for a very serious job. And agencies started giving me jobs. And
Wow.
eventually I ended up being hired by Google as a Google Ads specialist,
Yeah.
which was like the top point of, like feeling amazing about yourself. I just felt like so sexy, so intelligent. I'm like, Google trusted me with their customers, and I'm calling these
Yeah.
people and I'm making Google Ads recommendations to them. Are you kidding me? Like, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
And that's when I started looking for the next thing. And I was like, maybe corporate world isn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't be selling my time for my skills.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have a bigger impact. Maybe I could touch lives on a deeper level and like make meaningful impacts in people's lives.
Yeah.
Other than Google's billion-dollar clients. Like, think of corporate giants where, clothes are being sold, or
Yeah.
I don't want to name any names, but, I think you know what I mean. So I think being a Google rep really inspired me and made me feel very empowered because of the tools that I got to use, and I got to pop the hood on some really big accounts and see how Google Ads were run for certain campaigns and understand the strategy behind billions of dollars of ad spend.
Yep.
That made me feel like I was on top of the world.
Well, I think there's two things that I want to note there is the brand recognition, just the being able to say you worked here at the top notch place and like with Google's branding. But at the same time, there's a level of education seeing under the hood that you can't replace what they have. When you're seeing the best and quality of like the business ad revenue branding and things like that go behind it too, you see how the sausage is made and you can speak the language of the butcher and just be able to say, hey, I need a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but you can kind of make it digestible to the butcher of like, hey, like, it's so wonderful that you were able to be a part of something like that, but also be able to learn and take in as much as you did when you were there.
Absolutely.
It's a testament to just being able to keep your momentum going, like you said, and just keep the snowball rolling and rolling and rolling. And I feel that way. I empathize with you because that's kind of how I feel like in my journey currently in doing podcasting and being able to produce things like this is where, I feel like I get an opportunity to learn from someone like you who has a journey like this, but also reflect in myself of like, oh man, so I'm not alone. I don't have that gut feeling like I'm moving in this direction that I feel passionate about. Is it either a hit or is it a miss? Those sort of things.
We always have that imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Am I the right fit for the job?
Exactly.
Right.
I'm just so like that's been my the last few months because my world changed when I let go of my corporate position and moved into full-time entrepreneurship. And so that's kind of where my momentum is coming from and where I'm moving in direction with. So it's all everything's moving and evolving, but I love what I do. And I'm glad that I get a chance to reflect that with you. That's an enjoyable moment for me today. So I appreciate that. So again, one of the questions that I do like to ask about is the aha moment, and just, you start to play around a little bit more, see under the hood, you're working. Where is the aha moment in, like you said, wanting to make a bigger difference and seeing that in the business that you are in today?
I think that happened when I was working at a really prestigious ad agency. Excuse me. I was basically in charge of spending millions of dollars for this one client. And at that time, they were valued at $4 billion. And the agency was so well known and so trusted that this company just dumped all of their marketing ad budget on us, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm 8 months pregnant, and it's not like I had physical challenges like that. I don't want to make it dramatic. I was working all the way up to midnight just to get the data right, when you spend so much money in Google Ads, there's thousands of lines of data that you have to go through.
Yeah.
And at that time, I wasn't using ChatGPT because it was not there.
It was not there.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were doing manual data reading and optimizing to get good outcomes for this one Google Ads account. And
Yeah.
I think I was doing a great job. I know I was doing a great job. And the CEO even messaged me and said, we couldn't have done this without you.
Mm-hmm.
I helped this one client reach their revenue target that year,
Okay.
which was everything that that agency wanted to achieve that year. I helped them do that.
Yeah.
And the way that I started to heal, the way that I started to feel towards the end of my pregnancy, my child being born, I just started feeling this void about working at such a large agency that worked with such big budgets that didn't, when you think about it, there's not much impact. I'm making one client make so much money.
Yeah.
They already have billions. Why does that even matter?
Yeah.
You know, okay, it's maybe before I had that kind of success, it was a good goal for me because it made me feel very worthy. I'm not going to lie. It made my ego feel really good.
Yeah.
But when you achieve that, you're like, I don't know if there's a lot of meaning in this. Yes, this is great professional success, but it took me back to that time I was working for a small agency that served service-based businesses here in Phoenix. A ton of dentists, doctors, tree trimmers, pressure washers, roofers.
Yeah.
All based in Arizona. And I helped these businesses made money with Google Ads at that time. I was actually in charge of 100 accounts. I mean, I'm not talking about the quality of service there, but I'm going to talk about, because when you have so many accounts, you can understand, like, you only have 10 minutes to spend on one, and the agency's trying to make money. And, you know, if they're paying you a very bad salary while giving you all these clients, you get it. We all get it. But this job satisfaction I had at this one small agency was much larger than the satisfaction or, like, you know, the pride that I felt helping that $1 billion client.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I think I need to do something with smaller businesses, with startups, with anyone that is trying to break that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They know they have a skill. Like you said, you had that same challenge. I had the same thing. You know, I always wanted to do my own thing. I knew I had value to deliver to the world.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna start a business, which is a crazy idea because who are you to start a business, right?
Exactly, right?
I mean, we have that imposter syndrome, and just help smaller businesses get maybe $4,000 or $5,000 extra dollars every month and help them grow and see where this goes. I didn't even know what kind of impact I could have, just me as a freelancer, because in the past, although I helped smaller businesses, you know, I had other people around me. So this time it's just me, one man team. And people started signing up with me. I was trusted more than I thought I would be. And I never looked back because it's just, there's something about owning your own business that makes you wake up in the morning just with, you don't have to set up an alarm, first of all.
You want it.
You own your life.
Yeah.
When you're sipping on your coffee, you don't feel exhausted. Yeah, I never look back, and
it's perfect.
I never think about going back to corporate, even when it gets tough.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it hasn't gotten tough lately.
That's right.
Yeah, we're growing.
It just goes to show, again, you put in enough work that you, again, are in control of your outcome, your life, what you have today. And I very much feel where you're at. And I also reflect on myself, and I look back and I'm like, yeah, even as hard it is, what I do day in and day out, and try and look back, I'm like, I'd rather have it though. I'd rather have it than go to some place where I don't feel that joy and work there for however long and do the work that I'm not passionate about or anything like that. This, like I tell my coworker and my wife all the time, like, this fills my cup. Meeting people like you, getting to know your story and getting to know who you are, and just the joy and seeing it come out of you, and it's reflecting on those moments of pride, and it's great. It does really it does a lot for me. It really does. It's kind of my empathy is just like keep going back and forth.
Likewise. Yeah. I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Yeah.
And I love podcasting. I love that you're doing this.
I was going to go into that. We use like one of my future questions, like what you're doing today, and we can go into that. There's two parts that I want to talk about because you're talking to me today. Is one, the podcasting side. You really do express yourself through your podcast and what you provide to help others, taking this to the next step and giving back to those who want to learn from you by doing your podcast. So can you give us a little bit of like what it's about and give the audience a kind of acknowledgement of like how much joy you get from it as well?
Right. I think it's the nurturing side of me that said one day, I need to start a podcast and talk about what I do. Mm-hmm. It started as I'm going to give people Google Ads advice.
Yeah.
That's going to take them to the next level. People with like conversion tracking problems, CAC problems, they can't reach their target, return on investment.
Yeah.
And then friends and other people started reaching out to me. They were really surprised to see that I am on my own and I'm thriving. Mm-hmm. They wanted to know more about entrepreneurship and how to, like, what kind of business to start, because everybody's trying to get out of that 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Everybody at least once a week think about starting their own business.
Yeah.
But only a few of them do, right? So I started talking about entrepreneurship a little bit. So it's a mix of how to leverage paid search marketing and how to believe in yourself and find that service in demand. And currently, I'm writing a book on this as well. It's gonna be published in January. Thank you. I'm so excited. I see that a lot of influencers make this mistake of wasting their lives on social media.
Yeah.
People are sold the idea that if you want to make money, you need to start a personal brand, right? Mm-hmm. Jose needs to be a personal brand, and Jose's name need to be sold to brands for brand partnerships. This is the only way to make money. Use AI tools to duplicate yourself and create this like digital ecosystem where you don't even have to work and make automatic money passively. First of all, I don't believe in passive income. I find joy and value in active income. I love delivering value and actively working for it, just not a 9 to 5, right? We don't have to work 9 to 5 to call it an active income.
Yeah.
So I am now talking on my podcast and in this book about why people with entrepreneurial spirit need to stop focusing so much on social media and performing and doing cringy things on TikTok and Instagram to get their name out there, and maybe find a local service that they can deliver on demand.
Yeah.
And they can leverage the power of this thing called Google Ads.
Yeah.
It existed 10 years ago. It was called AdWords when boomers used it for plumbing services, roofing services.
Yeah.
One thing I love about boomers is that they never worried about market saturation. But in today's world, very few people actually think about starting a plumbing business or a tree trimming business because they think, oh, there's already enough of those. Like, nobody's going to hire me. That is not true. It was never true. Yeah. There could be 100 plumbers in one zip code and they still get their market share, Yeah. So I'm all about encouraging people to find the right type of income for themselves without doing cringy things.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because now that you bring this up and kind of how you explained it, it draws my mind to other aspects of my life. And one of the things that's coming up more on my feed is business entrepreneurship and different things of what you're talking about, acting in service and creating small jobs for yourself and for income, basically. And so one of the things that popped up, and it was such an interesting way of like, I guess, a startup business was individual started to rent a log cutter,
Right.
to cut the tree because
Mm-hmm.
he needed to do it for one of his own, and then he just figured out how to use it, and then started like people asked him, "Hey, will you do?" It started out with family. It's like, "Hey, will you do mine?" And I'll just pay, and then the neighbors start asking, and it just started to build into a business where you're like, "Oh, hey, I'm doing this way more than what I'm doing with my other construction job." But this is something that's my own income. This is something that I know and that I can um, return on investment. And
Mm-hmm.
so basically it was such a interesting way of like, oh yeah, I made a business that I thought and created because I thought, or at least learned something new and thought it was something that people needed, and people have reacted to that. And so that kind of evolved into building a business, what I have today. But it's
Right.
something that, again, we all think that there's a tree cutter guy that's going to cut your log.
Right.
But
But it doesn't matter.
yeah,
And they call that the golden entrepreneur formula.
yeah.
So you list things that you're good at,
Mhm.
and then you list things that that people need,
Yeah.
and then you find which of those things you actually like doing.
Yeah.
And that could be one thing, 5 things, but you have to choose one,
Yeah.
and that is your $1 million entrepreneurship idea.
Yeah.
And it could be log cutting, it could be pressure washing, it could be window cleaning.
Yeah.
I think that people under 30, even millennials my age, it's never too late to start your own service-based business. They need to take advantage of the opportunity that a lot of boomers are going to be selling their businesses because they want to retire.
Yeah.
And a lot of these businesses are going to shut down.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to create your own legacy.
Exactly.
Get that LLC, get that domain name, start building. And I can help,
There you go. There you go. And so, the other thing that we brought up is, technology and how it kind of evolves throughout time. You've seen where even before Google had their claw into all that is internet, we are connected somehow. And
Right.
so we're interconnecting, and now we look in, you brought up Chat GPT. I want to know how technology has affected your life, maybe even talking about Chat GPT a little bit more with AI and how it's evolving and getting more involved with everything that is technology and the internet as well.
I like AI. I'm not going to badmouth it. But I've had moments where I felt like we are giving too much to AI.
Yeah.
I think as human beings, the most important thing is being alive, right? We're wired for survival, and we all have unique egos, unique personalities, and that's authenticity.
Yeah.
When you give AI everything, when you ask AI to create your script, ideas that you could do just using your own God-given brain,
Yeah.
then you're outsourcing your intelligence, your authenticity to a machine.
Yeah.
And you don't understand fully what this machine wants to do in the long term. Like we don't know if we can fully trust AI yet.
Yeah.
We're still in the very early phases of these models. And even if they had good intentions, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, it's still outsourcing your own intelligence and your authenticity.
Yeah.
You're giving your chance to think of an idea in your brain, put it through your own filters, and output an idea that is you. And you're giving that to AI. I stopped using AI for script creating.
Yeah.
I definitely use it to get ideas. It's fine. But script writing, it's a no-no for me because it's terrible. Like the other day, I listened to a huge influencer. Everybody knows her name, in America at least. And she was reading off of a ChatGPT first pass script. It was so cringe. My stomach started hurting. I was same feeling with another thought leader that I looked up to for many years. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll know who this is.
There, okay, now
I'm not gonna name it here, but
the mystery continues.
the mystery continues. A lot of big names started using ChatGPT first pass scripts, and it's crazy terrifying to me.
I think you can also kind of tell, like in all actuality, like, you know, your words.
The sentence structures, right?
Yeah, the sentence structure is a little wonky. So yeah, I get it. It's like, it's very cringe because you can feel it. And people, and it's hard to explain, but it's like people can feel authenticity. People can feel that kind of genuine, you know, what's the aura, the vibe, whatever it is. It's perpetual. It's like, you know, you put out that feeling, and if it's continuous throughout like a conversation or, you know, something like that, it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel genuine.
Absolutely. And that's why I see so much value in starting a local service-based business, because service-based businesses are typically done via hands, or, you know, it's a service we deliver physically. Could be wedding planning, it could be cooking, right?
Yeah.
These things are going to be the last things that could be filled by AI.
Yeah.
But the first things that are going to go away are what? Online course creations.
Yeah.
I just recently read a study that said there's a huge decline in online course sales.
Yeah.
Because everybody's asking ChatGPT how to do things now.
Yeah, and
you know?
trying getting all of that resource
Exactly.
to them.
So instead of encouraging generations of people to like start these personal branding journeys that is heavily AI dependent, I'd rather go the traditional route.
Yeah.
And do things authentically, and just do things, make things with our hands.
Yeah.
You know, cook Mexican food, make that good salsa.
Yeah.
AI can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe one day, but
my mom does traditional clothing and kind of makes you know, hats, scarves, things like of that nature, and so yeah, we tried our best to, like, my brother and I have used every ounce of intelligence from our own hands of like experience and things like that to help create her website and what she's using today to sell her goods. And, you know, there's something about it. It's like, there's a joy of like being able to say, hey, my mom made this with her hands, not only with us doing the internet and doing the portion that is digital side to it, but also just in the sense, it's like, we've helped her create that digital side. She's helped create something with her hands. So I love that kind of, that ideal of like, you know, it's a continual thing, like doing art and doing all of that, but in a more present day modern sense of like the digital side to it. So I do appreciate you giving yourself and allowing your own journey to kind of develop into what it is today. So I know that it takes a lot, because your empathy is so matriarchal, like motherly, and just, I really do appreciate that as well, because I know parenthood can really do benefits for a lot of people. And so I think that's something that came out of your life journey too, is this level of caretaking that you have for not only your kids, but also just your clients as well.
Right.
Yeah. So is there anything that we haven't touched upon that we can kind of end today's conversation with? Is there something that excites you for the future, or any goal setting that our audience can help you with?
Yeah. Anyone listening, if you are looking for quality marketing tips in today's landscape with AI and everything, tune into my podcast on Spotify, Born to Scale. For anyone that wants to scale what they have. It's a podcast for founders and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. I love that term.
I love that.
And of course, I'm working on this book.
Yeah.
I can drop a link for
Please.
like a wait list for anyone that wants to read that. Jose is going to share that
I would
with
love
you.
Yes, I would love to.
And follow me on Instagram. I'm Meg Jones Media. All I share is just marketing stuff. That has value, and you can apply that to any area of your business and sometimes life.
Yes,
So
I love it. And it's great. I mean, it's all, in all honesty, you are providing something that I think a lot of people want to have in their life and be able to knowledge themselves up on and just give themselves a leg up in a world that can seem very big and very vast. And the fact that it's like, there's a lot of things that you can do to help market yourself and advertise for yourself. And Google Ads is just one of very many things that you can do, but it's also just, it's a very big, scary thing to take on, and sometimes. But I say that to say you're doing wonderful, and you're with you at the helm of your business. I think you're going to be just fine, and I wish you the best of luck and everything.
thank you so much.
Absolutely. And
Same to you.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. And before we go, you guys know that you can catch every episode of our podcast at fightingarizonapodcast.com, and all of our social media handles, Fighting Arizona Podcast, under everything. And last but not least, end every conversation saying kisses, hugs, and belly rubs to our four-legged friends, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.